1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch. He's Hacker.
Talk about a fried egg. I lasted about 5 minutes out there. I said, to heck with this. I'll do this in the morning. And I don't have any inside information. The lady that did it, she got in there. She made it happen.
And he doesn't shy away from opinion.
And I do enjoy drinking cold beer at ballparks. So if that makes me a baseball fan, then I'm a diehard baseball fan.
It's Hacker After Dark on 1010XL.
Dropping the throw. Trevor looks, lots of time. Now fires back, corner of the end zone, or the middle of the end zone, touchdown! Brenton Strange in the middle of the field. A 21-yard touchdown catch from Trevor Lawrence, and Jacksonville has extended the lead.
That was Frank Frangie yesterday. Jaguars radio on the call. Jacksonville 25, Tennessee 3. The Jaguars go to Nashville and beat the Titans by more points than they ever have. In Nashville, Tennessee, a 22-point victory, and Jacksonville now 8-4 on the year in first place based on tiebreakers in the AFC South. And with that, a very good Monday evening to you, Jacksonville. It is Hacker After Dark, 1010XL 92.5 FM with Dylan Denmark. The Hacker Ryan Green with you. Glad you are with us. We will certainly spend a lot of time on the Jacksonville Jaguars win yesterday in Nashville, and we will begin looking ahead to what I think is probably the biggest regular season home game for the Jaguars in maybe the last 3 years. You probably have to go back to the finale in 2022, that AFC South championship game, the final week of the 22 regular season between the Jaguars and the Titans, to find a bigger regular season game here in Jacksonville than what we're going to have this Sunday between the 8-4 Indianapolis Colts and the 8-4 Jacksonville Jaguars. Of course, the winner of that game will have first place outright by themselves in the AFC South. So we'll talk a lot of Jaguars tonight. Brian Sexton, Jaguars.com and Jaguars Radio, joins us at the bottom of the 8 o'clock hour. We will also do a little Monday night coaching with Campo. My buddy Dave Campo, former head coach of the Dallas Cowboys, will join us later on tonight here on Hacker After Dark. And we will talk about John Sumrall, the brand new head coach at the University of Florida. He met the media earlier today down in Gainesville. Gator fans, I know it's not Lane Kiffin. I certainly got a lot of thoughts about that, but it is John Sumrall, and we will talk about John Sumrall a lot tonight, including former Gator All-American tight end Ben Troop will join us later on in the program to get his thoughts on what his alma mater did in hiring John Sumrall away from Tulane. So we are absolutely loaded. It is the first day of December. Hope you guys had a terrific Thanksgiving, enjoyed your friends, enjoyed your family, and we're right back at it with you tonight here on Hacker After Dark. Every night on HAD, we do kick it off with a big deal of the night, and Dylan Denmark. Let's do that right now.
Time now for the big deal of the night.
What's the big deal?
What is the big deal?
No big deal.
It is a big deal.
On Hacker After Dark.
So we talked about it all week, last week. Thanksgiving week, you're going to play a team with only one win. It's going to be a half-empty stadium. You got a gigantic game at home against Indianapolis 7 days later. There were so many excuses, right? So many reasons why yesterday in Nashville could have been a trap game or a look-ahead game, or Jacksonville, like they've done so many times, could play down to their competition. And truthfully, that opening drive for the Titans, where they take it 70 yards, get inside the Jacksonville 10-yard line, and kick a field goal to go up 3-0, you're starting to wonder, okay, let's see. But then, bam. Trevor Lawrence to Jacoby Myers, force a fumble on the ensuing kickoff. Trevor Lawrence to Brenton Strange, and the game was basically over after that. Yesterday in Nashville, the Jaguars did what good football teams do. They took advantage of a bad NFL team in Tennessee, had zero problems in the second half. The game was never in doubt, and they win going away 25-3. How nice is that, right? How nice is that to do what you're supposed to do? 7-4 teams are supposed to beat up on 1-10 teams. And that is exactly what transpired yesterday against Tennessee. Jacksonville goes to 8-4. The Titans fall to a woeful 1-11, the worst record in the National Football League. The Jaguars did what they were supposed to do. Most teams, most fan bases, most media probably wouldn't celebrate that in most NFL markets. I'm going to celebrate that, and I think you should celebrate that because that's very un-Jaguar-like. We've seen many times, including this year, where the Jaguars do play down to their competition. That obviously did not happen yesterday. And you know what that is, Jaguar fans? That is growth for this football team. That is maturity for this football team. And it was a very, very pleasant sight to see. As far as the game yesterday, I thought Trevor Lawrence maybe had one of his best outings. Certainly the second half was not great, although I think some of that had to do with the fact that Tennessee could do nothing offensively. If you're the Jaguars, it's only human nature to start playing, poorly, not say disinterested, but when you're up by 22 and the other team can do nothing on offense, penalties, yeah, they got to clean some of that stuff up, but the game was well decided before any of that stuff started happening in the latter stages of the third quarter. I thought in the first half yesterday, Trevor Lawrence was pretty good. I thought he managed the game very well. In fact, Liam Cohen earlier today down at the Miller Electric Center, we'll let you hear some of his thoughts. He was asked about his quarterback managing the game, and this is what he said about Trevor's performance yesterday in Nashville.
I think what stood out obviously was, ball security, taking care of the football. We obviously got behind the chains and behind the sticks in the second half. A little bit there that didn't allow us to maybe open it up from a pass game standpoint as much as we would have liked to in the second half. But I think when you look at the explosives and what he was, I think on throws past, I don't know what it was, like 15 yards in the first half or whatever that ended up being, that he was 6-9 for like 125 or something, that we were just a little bit more explosive and efficient in the first half, and I thought he did a nice job managing the game.
The thoughts of Jaguar head coach Liam Cohen earlier today at the Miller Electric Center. Thank you to Jaguars.com. And Liam Cohen is now the head coach of an 8-4 football team. And as the weeks go by and the wins continue to accumulate, it goes to show you how good a job he's doing and how good a job particularly he's done in the last 3 games. Man, I'm telling you, we talked about this on the 5th quarter last night. Myself, Leon Searcy, and the coach Gerald Ingram. 3 weeks ago tonight, 21 days ago tonight, I was sitting in this chair in front of this microphone, and we were all still in a fog. We were in a haze about what transpired in Houston in that 4th quarter. Just unfathomable to lose a 29-10 lead to Davis Mills in the final 12 minutes of that game. And make no mistake about it, man, the Jaguar season could have spiraled out of control. Teams that have suffered less than what the Jaguars suffered in Houston have not recovered and have gone just downhill and could not get out of their own way. That could have happened here after a situation like that in the 4th quarter in Houston. But since that moment, the Jaguars wiped the floor with the LA Chargers. The Jacksonville Jaguars won a hard-fought overtime game out in the desert in Arizona. And the Jaguars go up to Nashville yesterday and absolutely obliterate one of their division rivals in the Tennessee Titans, winning 3 games in a row. WWW after what happened in the fourth quarter in Houston is a terrific job. Not a good job, not an above average job. It is a terrific job by Liam Cohen and this coaching staff. They have them now 8-4 on the year. As far as individual performances yesterday, loved what I saw out of Jacoby Myers. Joshua Hines-Allen is playing like a man possessed. I thought the defense as a whole, kudos to Anthony Campanile and that defensive staff, because after that opening drive for Tennessee, the Titans basically did nothing on offense the remainder of the game. Kudos to Devon Hamilton, your starting defensive tackle, who has to go in there and long snap after Ross Madison got injured in the first half. I thought that was terrific by Devon. And then Cole Van Lannon. Goodness gracious, man. 2 weeks ago, Cole Van Lannon was your starting left guard in for an injured Ezra Cleveland. Last week in Arizona, Cole Van Lannon was your starting right tackle in for an injured Anton Harrison. To begin the game yesterday, Cole Van Lannon was your starting right guard in for an injured Patrick McCarry. And towards the end of the game yesterday, Cole Van Lannon was now your starting left tackle in for an injured Walker Little. That is unbelievable work by Cole Van Lannon. 4 different spots on the offensive line, starting responsibilities in the last 12 quarters of football, and Van Lannon has done a beautiful job. Again, terrific win, did what they were supposed to do, and that now sets up a gigantic game on Sunday here at Everbank Stadium. 8-4 Indianapolis, 8-4 Jacksonville. First place in the AFC South is on the line. Much more Jaguar talk coming up. Brian Sexton, Jaguars.com and Jaguars Radio, joins us in about 20 minutes. Also, the head coach, Dave Campo, a little Monday night coaching with Campo. That does come up tonight in the 9 o'clock hour. Coming up next, Lane Kiffin to LSU. John Sumrall to the University of Florida. How did it go down? What is the thought behind Sumrall's hiring? We'll talk about all of it with you next on a Monday night here in Northeast Florida. Jacksonville, we're glad you're with us right here on Hacker After Dark.
The atmosphere of a college football Saturday is electric.
Get pregame news and notes you need to know before the games begin.
It's the Bueller Aaron Plumbing College Kickoff.
Served up by Sonny's Barbecue.
Friday night at 6 on 1010XL.
The wait is over. Sunday, December 7th, your Jacksonville Jaguars return to Everbank Stadium for a massive division showdown against the Indianapolis Colts. This is more than just a game. It's a statement. Touchdown, Jacksonville! The Jags are back home and ready to turn up the heat in their iconic Prowler throwbacks. Kickoff is 1 p.m., so pack the bank and make it loud. Secure your seats now at Jaguars.com/tickets or call 904-633-2000. We'll see you at the bank.
If you are an experienced electrician looking for your next big opportunity, look no further than the Miller Electric Company, a trusted name in the industry for over 96 years. At Miller Electric, we tackle the biggest projects in the city, offering you the chance to showcase your skills on a grand scale. We believe in rewarding hard work with the best pay, top-notch benefits, and an unbeatable culture where people actually care about each other. Take your career to new heights with Miller Electric Company. Apply today at millercareers.com. Miller Electric, an equal opportunity employer.
The boys are back in the kitchen.
Don't start the barbecue without me.
Joe, Matt, and Leon give you plenty to chew on during lunchtime.
Freshly baked bread
From the big #1 Duval Ford Studios.
Thank you for lunch, boys.
Noon to 2 weekdays on 1010XL.
The holidays are coming, and so is your family. Is your septic system ready?
Honey, why is the yard bubbling?
Dad, the dog's swimming in the septic tank. That's one way to greet the in-laws.
Don't let a septic disaster be the highlight of your holiday dinner. Call Duck Duck Rooter today and get it fixed before Uncle Bob finds out the hard way. Duck Duck Rooter, your local septic experts. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. DuckDuckRooter.com.
What if you could pull up to $500,000 in cash out of your home and drop your mortgage rate to 4.99% APR? Hey, Prosser here, and right now at Loan Pronto, they've got the lowest rates in 3 years. With Loan Pronto's rapid equity loan, you can get your cash in as little as 3 days, pay off all those high-interest credit cards, and even skip your next 2 house payments. One client just got $300,000 approved in under 24 hours. Paid off their debt, paid off 2 car loans, saved $2,100 a month. One call, life change. There's no wait, no hard credit pull. You probably won't need an appraisal. Just fast, easy cash from your home's equity. Rates at a 3-year low. Act now. Call 914-999-1508 or visit loanpronto.com for your free instant home appraisal. See how much cash you can get today. Call 914-999-1508. See how much cash you can get today. You can also visit loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781. On approved credit, visit NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
The holiday season is the season of love. If you're getting engaged now or just looking for that unforgettable gift for the woman you love, Beards Diamonds is here for you. This Christmas, Beards is proud to showcase the world's premier designers in both bridal and fashion. Like Crown Ring, engagement rings and bands fit for royalty. Crown Ring brings your dreams to life with a vast selection of styles and spectacular precious metals. Beards is showcasing the entire Crown Ring collection with unmatched craftsmanship, design, and comfort. Beards Diamonds is the town center's local jeweler. So at Beards, you never have to settle for corporate chain store quality. We've put together our best selection ever of exquisite jewelry for the holidays. From the newest designer styles to classic diamond studs and diamond bracelets, with your choice of natural or lab-grown diamonds. Whether your holiday budget is a few hundred or a few $100,000, the experts at Beards will help you find the jewelry that reflects your love. Beards Diamonds at the St. John's Town Center.
This is the home of the Florida Gators. Get your Gators hoops on 1010XL. Brought to you by the personal injury attorneys of Farah and Farah, Randy Marion Cadillac of Jacksonville, and Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors.
Fumbled your fender? EV took a hit? Guardian Collision is your MVP with certified expert auto body repair for any electric vehicle. Guardian Collision, they guard what moves you. Visit GuardianCollision.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch. Hacker After Dark on 1010XL.
Lane Kiffin and I have been going through the same thing, and we've talked a lot. We were both in agreement that I was the right man for this job. All right? So he co-signed on that. Lane's a dear friend, and I have to poke a little fun at him.
That is the new Florida Gator head football coach, John Sumrall. He met the media earlier today down in Gainesville as John Sumrall takes over the Florida football program. 2 years at Troy, 2 years at Tulane, and now he is the new head man in charge at the University of Florida. Welcome back in, Hacker After Dark, on a Monday here in the city of Jacksonville. We are glad you are with us on 1010XL and on 92.5 FM. All right, Florida destroys Florida State on Saturday night. I can't believe that game ended just a little over 48 hours ago, and it is already a complete and total afterthought based on everything that has transpired in the world of college football since that game went final. Of course, Lane Kiffin to LSU. That means John Sumrall to Florida. You know, I understand the frustration that Gator fans have, probably with Scott Strickland, the athletic director. I would implore you, though, to give John Sumrall an opportunity, to give him a chance. He has nothing to do with your anger, right? You're lumping him in with Billy Napier. And I say you, not all of you, but some of you, maybe even most of you, at least the ones that I hang out with and the ones that I've seen on social media. You know, the Billy Napier 2.0 stuff, I don't buy into that. For starters, Sumrall is a defensive guy, right? So there's a gigantic difference right there. Defensive guy, a defensive mindset for John Sumrall, a former linebacker at the University of Kentucky. He is the first defensive-centric coach the Gators have hired since Will Muschamp. So a big difference already. Sumrall's the defensive guy, whereas Billy Napier was supposedly the offensive guy, which obviously never worked out with the University of Florida. Sumrall's much more how do I say this? Energetic, kind of in your face, bravado, if you will, similar to a Will Muschamp, I suppose, in that regard. Whereas Billy Napier sometimes looked kind of aloof, right? Kind of like he was out to lunch. Nothing wrong with the man, just that wasn't his demeanor, wasn't his charisma. Charisma wasn't really Billy Napier's thing. So those are two big differences. Another big difference is I believe John Sumrall is smart enough to know what he doesn't know. And what I mean by that is I believe John Sumrall will adjust on the fly much quicker than Billy Napier did. Obviously, Billy Napier never gave up play calling. He was very stubborn in that regard. Sumrall's a defensive guy. He's going to go out and have to find an offensive mind. There's names like Brian Dable that have been mentioned, the former head coach of the New York Giants. Cade Bell, Kerwin Bell's son up at Pitt, who's done a terrific job with that program. You've heard a lot of names already. Faulkner, the OC at Georgia Tech, is a guy that's already being talked about. So it'll be very interesting to see the staff that John Sumrall will get at the University of Florida. I want to play a couple of more of his comments, if you guys did not hear this earlier, just to give you a feel for who John Sumrall is. And he starts out by just simply saying it feels great to be a Florida Gator.
It's great to be a Florida Gator. It's great to be a Florida Gator. I am honored and humbled to be the head football coach of the University of Florida.
And he's not stupid, right? He's, look, he knows the thought on him, not exactly the thought on him per se, but the thought about that job is that most people wanted Lane Kiffin. The disappointment, the anger towards Scott Strickland and the process. Sumrall, to me, that's why he started with that Lane Kiffin joke at the top. He understands, what he's diving into, which makes me kind of respect the guy a little bit more, right? He knows the reaction about not getting Lane Kiffin and getting John Sumrall. But he does say, and I want you to listen to this, that he believes, he's got a lot of confidence, he believes he's built for this job in Gainesville.
The standard here is championships. That's why I came. I'm built for this job. I was made for this job. Winners win. I'm a winner. We're going to win.
Now, look, I love the confidence. And to be honest with you, of everything he said for about the 30 minutes that he held court down there in Gainesville today, that one quote right there, winners win. I'm a winner. I'm going to win. Now, maybe that soundbite will be used against him in 2 or 3 years. Who knows? But for the here and now, if you're a Florida Gator fan and you hear that, you hired a guy with an awful lot of confidence, which I like. Winners win. I'm a winner. I'm going to win. Love that. Denmark, let's go to 16. Let's go to the final thing that Sumrall said. We'll circle back in a little bit. But the whole group of 5 idea, right? People are upset, at least some of you are upset, that not only is Sumrall a group of 5 coach like Billy Napier, ironically enough, he's coming from Louisiana, or the state of Louisiana anyway, exactly where Billy Napier came from. Sumrall was asked about that earlier today.
Yeah, no two people are the same, okay? And Coach Meyer, you coached G5 football, I think, right? Yeah, Kurt Signetti coached G5, I think. I actually coached against Kurt some. No two people are the same. Just because you're a reporter, I may have had an interaction with another reporter and not liked it, doesn't mean I'm going to judge you that way. Judge me for who I am. I'm a winner. We're going to win. And just give me a shot. Believe in me. Here's the deal. I need everybody pulling the rope the same direction. Because if anybody's pulling the other direction, it don't make the job easier. It makes it harder. If we're all Gators, we all want to win, let's do this together. You want to go fast, go alone. You want to go far, go together. Let's go together.
Again, he was prepared for the questions. I mean, he didn't outright say the name Billy Napier, but of course that's who he's alluding to. No two people are the same. Give me a shot. Again, I like that about this guy. And I've had very limited interaction with John Sumrall. As I was telling Rick earlier, we had Sumrall on Hacker After Dark the Monday after the NFL draft because the Jaguars drafted Caleb Ransaw out of Tulane. And I told Denmark this story when we did our podcast yesterday after Sumrall got hired. Normally, when you call the school, the SID, you'll get you in touch with the handler for the coach, and you'll get the office number, or you'll give them your number, and you'll get in touch that way. John Sumrall was the guy at Tulane that just gave out his cell phone. So I had John Sumrall's cell phone. I called him up, told him who I was, that I was wanting to talk about Caleb Ransaw, and I had a really pleasant, nice 15-minute conversation with the man back in late April. We played it here on Hacker After Dark. Had absolutely no idea that 7 months later he would be the brand new head coach at the University of Florida. I actually texted with John Sumrall earlier, congratulated him. He responded, was very cordial. I hope to get him on at some point. He said he'd love to do that. Obviously, he's a little busy right now doing all the introductory stuff today. And, oh, by the way, he is still coaching Tulane. Florida is allowing him to do that in coaching Tulane on Friday night in the American Conference Championship game and potentially in the college football playoff. If Tulane wins that game, there's a better chance than not that Tulane will get the one group of 5 bid to the college football playoff, which is an interesting dynamic in all this. Of course, Lane Kiffin is in the same boat. Ole Miss is saying no to Lane Kiffin coaching the playoff. Florida is allowing John Sumrall to potentially do that. Final thought from Sumrall. He mentioned Urban in that soundbite earlier. Urban Meyer and Steve Spurrier were both in attendance today at Sumrall's introductory press conference, and he talked about living up to the legacy that both of those men set there in Gainesville.
Yeah, it's a challenge I embrace. It's an exhilarating challenge. That's probably a better word. I don't know that I can measure myself to Coach Spurrier or Coach Meyer anytime soon. Got a long way to go. I look forward to leaning on them, asking their opinion and advice. I feel very privileged to have 2 great resources like them that are a phone call away.
Here's what I would ask Gator fans about this whole situation. If you're mad about the Lane Kiffin stuff, and that's your prerogative, that's totally fine. I'm not going to tell you how to feel about that. Lane Kiffin certainly appears that he wanted to go to LSU. Were there issues with Florida? Were there issues with the negotiations with Scott Strickland? Perhaps. There's all sorts of reports out there that Lane didn't like some of the structure that Scott Strickland wanted. We'll get to that in a moment. But at the end of the day, Florida tried to get Lane Kiffin. They offered Lane Kiffin a boatload of money. He basically said no or kept giving him the runaround, and he's off to Baton Rouge. All right? Clark Lee at Vanderbilt gets an extension. Eli Drinkwitz, Missouri, gets an extension. Kurt Signetti, Indiana, gets an extension. Kenny Dillingham reportedly said thanks but no thanks to a lot of these jobs. So if you're mad about John Sumrall, right, if you're upset about John Sumrall coming to Florida, take a deep breath and let me ask you, well, then who were you going to get? Who was going to come to Florida? Jed Fish? You wouldn't have liked that. Jeff Brom? I don't think many of you would have liked that. You weren't going to get Marcus Freeman. You obviously weren't going to get Lane. Most of the other Power 5 guys that you were interested in, or the names that we had heard, signed extensions with their current teams. The man that you did get was in high demand last year at North Carolina. A lot of the North Carolina boosters wanted him before the big money boosters came in wanting Bill Belichick. You see how that turned out. Auburn thought they were going to get John Sumrall before Florida came in and got him from out of Auburn's reaches. Ole Miss reportedly was going to show interest in Sumrall, and I can guarantee you Kentucky would have hired John Sumrall had they fired Mark Stoops a couple of days prior, or they would have at least offered John Sumrall the job because Sumrall coached there and he played linebacker for the Wildcats back in the early 2000s. I say all that to say this. If you want to be mad with Scott Strickland, if you want to be mad at the process of not getting Lane Kiffin, that's totally fair. But to not give John Sumrall a chance just because you think he's Billy Napier 2.0, that is incredibly short-sighted. You're better than that. Give the guy an opportunity. If he doesn't work out, he doesn't work out. But to not give him a chance just because you think it's another Billy Napier, even though, like I've said, Sumrall the defensive guy, Napier the offensive guy, clearly completely different demeanors, completely different attitudes, and completely different processes. I would just say take a deep breath and let it all play out, and we will see if John Sumrall can prove a lot of you wrong when he takes over the reins there at the University of Florida. Quickly, Dave Caldwell, the former Jaguar general manager, is now the GM at the University of Florida. I will be honest with you. I saw that yesterday, and I just could not believe it. Dave Caldwell did not do a very good job as the GM here in Jacksonville. Nice guy. Never said anything about the fact that I didn't like Dave Caldwell. Very personable guy. I just thought he did a downright terrible job here as the Jaguar GM. Having said that, the last 5 years he's been up there in Philadelphia with Howie Roseman. Howie Roseman, one of the best GMs in the NFL, gave his seal of approval to Florida to look at Dave Caldwell's direction. I will trust Howie Roseman on this. Dave Caldwell takes over as the Gator GM, and hopefully he and John Sumrall can turn around that Gator program and make them a winning culture once again. More on the John Sumrall hire with a former Gator All-American. My buddy Ben Troop joins me in the 9 o'clock hour to take a look at the new look Florida Gator head coach. Coming up next, back into the Jacksonville Jaguars. The win yesterday in Nashville over the hated Tennessee Titans, and a big one, I mean a big one, on Sunday against Indianapolis. Let's talk about all of it. Brian Sexton, Jaguars.com and Jaguars Radio. He joins us next on a Monday night here in Northeast Florida. We're glad you're with us. Hacker After Dark till 10 o'clock right here on 1010XL and on 92.5 FM.
Check in Tuesdays for Jeff Lageman and Check the Tape Tuesday.
We'll keep you up to date with the latest and NFL news.
Tuesdays during football season on Jaguars Today. Checked by Napa Auto Care on 1010XL.
Need your weekly fix for Mexican street food? One Night Taco Stand has Jacksonville covered. Mondays, any burrito, just $7.99 with a soft drink purchase. On Taco Tuesday, enjoy any taco for just $3.49. And on Wednesdays, kids 12 and under eat for just $2. Perfect for the whole family. Find One Night Taco Stand in Mandarin, Orange Park, and Southside at Bay Meadows.
Post-game Monday on 1010XL is served up by Dandy Foods, making quality fresh sandwiches since 1956.
Hey, Jacksonville, I'm sure by now you've seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We are an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We are committed to customer service, reliability, and have unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today. GFL, green for life.
Jacksonville, hunting season is here, and nobody gears you up like Green Acres Sporting Goods, home of the largest archery pro shop in Northeast Florida. They've got everything for all seasons: archery, black powder, and general gun season. Green Acres is a fully stocked Browning dealer with ammo, accessories, and safes. Don't miss out on Florida's Second Amendment sales tax holiday, happening now through the end of the year. Gear up today at greenacresporting.com.
Hey folks, Hickett here, and you know by now my go-to for spotless carpets, grout, hard surfaces, upholstery, and duct cleaning is Zero Res. Don't miss. Book Cyber Monday only for 20% off all cleaning services from Zero Res. You spell it forwards or backwards. Zero Res. It's the right way to clean.
Hey Jacksonville, it's Dr. Kevin Kaplan, team physician for the Jaguars and proud member of Jacksonville's newest orthopedic dream team. At Orthopedic Specialists of Jacksonville, we brought together 10 board-certified, fellowship-trained surgeons, each one a specialist in their field, all working together to deliver smarter, faster care with better results. From sports injuries to joint replacements, we've got the right player for every position. Visit osjax.com and meet your team. That's osjax.com.
You like winning? This is former Jaguar linebacker Tom McManus, and I'm excited to introduce you to J-Dog Junk Removal and Hauling of Greater Jacksonville. If you're a property manager, contractor, builder, realtor, or homeowner, get that feeling of success with less stress. I've used them. My friends have used them. So get your free junk removal and hauling estimate today. Now, I call that a win. Veteran-owned and operated J-Dog Junk Removal and Hauling. Call 506-1256. We haul it all.
Morgan Conley Roofing isn't just repairing roofs. He's building a legacy for generations to come. Born here, built here, staying here. MorganConleyRoofing.org. License number CCC 1333544.
Look around and we know you've got options for gasoline, but those other places, they're not in the business of more. At Shell, that's what you get every day. Members get more rewards, more savings, more special offers. You'll even get 10 cents per gallon off of your first fill when you sign up and save on every fill after that. Choose to get more and more with every drive. Join the Shell Fuel Rewards program today at fuelrewards.com. Offer valid at participating Shell locations. Offer must be redeemed within 60 days of registration. Limit 20 gallons. Restrictions apply. Visit fuelrewards.com for more information.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah. Now, another great guest on the Checkmate Coatings phone line. Hello. Your floor's missing piece.
Back here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM in the city of Jacksonville. We are glad you are with us. The Jaguars and the Colts coming up this Sunday. First place in the AFC South on the line. The Jaguars now 8-4 after a dominating win in Nashville yesterday over the Tennessee Titans. Let's review the win yesterday. Let's preview a big one at Everbank Stadium this upcoming Sunday. And let's do that with my buddy Brian Sexton, Jaguars.com. You also hear him on Jaguars Radio. Always kind enough to join us here on 1010XL. Brian, hope you and the family had a great Thanksgiving, man. How are you?
Good, really good. Hope you did too. Anytime you get the family together, I was able to have two of my sons, and then I went out to Kansas and watched the third play a little college football. And they won, which was always good. So it was a good Thanksgiving.
Perfect, absolutely. And the Jaguars helped us all out in Thanksgiving weekend with a big W in Nashville. Brian, a dominating performance yesterday in the win over Tennessee.
Yeah, without a doubt, Ryan. I mean, listen, if anybody thought that these were still the same old Jags, yesterday's win proved that they were not. I mean, the Jaguars had fallen victim to trap game after trap game over the course of the last 10 years and probably a little bit longer in their history. And what I thought was interesting was there were a couple of writers, and on Friday they're looking for clickbait. And, here's some bold predictions for the weekend. And, of course, number one on CBS Sports website was that the Titans would upset the Jaguars. And the rationale behind this particular writer's prediction was that Cam Ward had played two good games by not turning the ball over. And that was enough in the midst of a 6-game losing streak to predict that the Titans would beat the Jaguars. I mean, talk about a slap in the face. I think the Jaguars heard that. I think they understood that people expected them to take a step backwards, to be the same old Jags. But we've been saying all season, Ryan, and you're in the locker room, this is not the same old team. This has a mindset, a toughness about it. John Ozier and I talked about that on Jags AM this morning. There is a toughness present that hasn't been present in a really long time. Not just physical, although that's there, but the mental toughness, the resilience that this team has lacked. And they are showing it in as many ways as possible. So it was a dominant win. It was expected in the locker room, if not outside it. And it really sets the stage for the Jaguars with 5 weeks left to be in control of their playoff destiny with a win on Sunday against the Colts.
And Brian, to that point, look, after what happened in Houston in that fourth quarter, boy, this season could have gone one of two ways. I mean, we've seen seasons for other teams derail after something like that. And since that moment, the Jaguars are 3-0, and they've won in all types of fashion, dominating performances and wins over the Chargers and the Titans, a hard-fought overtime road win against Arizona. You got to give Liam Cohen and his staff a ton of credit for keeping this team together and focused moving forward after what transpired in Houston a couple of weeks ago.
Well, listen, I wrote and I said after that loss in Houston, in fact, I think I said it to you, that this was the Liam Cohen week. The week between the Texans and the Chargers was his chance to completely own this football team. If he could get them from that demoralizing loss against the Texans, ready to play and to play well, I didn't even say win, but play well against the Chargers, it would transform his football team. It would make it his completely. And he did. And so I'm not surprised by what they've done. And when you look, I mean, how many times last year, Ryan, did you and I talk about a team that couldn't win a game in the fourth quarter, a one-score game? And yet that's all they have done this season. Cohen has transformed the mindset of this team. I'm not sure I can put my finger on exactly how he's done it, but he's a young, energetic, aggressive coach with different methods, and these players clearly connect with him in a way that they didn't with Doug Peterson. I'm not sure that you have to go find yourself a 39-year-old coach to be able to do it. I think you have to find the right person to be able to take on the task. And I know Tony Vaselli has said it to me the first time he met Liam, he understood that he had the right guy in front of him to tackle the mental side of the Jaguars locker room. And Tony was right. And Liam has been a revelation for a football team that didn't have a lot of confidence, but now really believes in itself.
Brian Sexton, Jaguars.com and Jaguars Radio. Brian, Trevor Lawrence yesterday played maybe his best half of football, particularly the hookup with Jacoby Myers, the touchdown to Brenton Strange, and more importantly, no turnovers in a division road game. What were your thoughts on Trevor's performance?
Well, listen, I thought after the third interception in Arizona that I saw something, a switch flip in him. And he was 4 of 4 for 59 passing yards on that 60-yard drive. And he threw the beautiful touchdown to Parker Washington against the Cardinals that gave him the lead. And then he was really good in overtime as well. I thought he continued that. I thought he was confident. I thought he was consistent. I thought he was willing to be courageous and make some throws over the middle. And at the same time, I thought he was cautious and not being stupid with the ball. If you recall the first sack, he was just about to get rid of the ball, and he saw the linebacker flash in front of Brenton Strange, and he pulled the ball back down. Listen, you got to be willing not to throw it as well. To play smart football, you have to be willing to say it's first down. I'll take the sack. It'll be 2nd and 15. So what? I'm not going to throw the ball away. I don't know that he's completely crossed the Rubicon and is now ready to just start this massive upward ascent. But I think he's closer to it. And I think that Trevor Lawrence that we saw yesterday is more than good enough to win with as he continues to progress with Liam Cohen. And I think if we're going to be fair about it, I know it's his 5th season and everyone's expecting immediate results. It's his 3rd head coach. It's his 3rd offensive coordinator. It might take him more than one season to completely grasp every concept that Liam and Grant Udinski are throwing at him. But he's making progress here. And this is the important one, Ryan, he's 8-4. His football team is 8-4. He is doing more than enough right to be able to be in a position to challenge for the division title in a year that we all hope that they just be relevant. We'd be talking about playoff possibilities at this time of year. I think that there's a lot of reasons for people to take a deep breath and be optimistic about what Trevor can be.
Brian, I always refer to you as a Jaguar encyclopedia. And look, they haven't made a ton of in-season trades in franchise history, but they have made a few, certainly. And the Jacoby Myers trade, we're 4 games in. I don't want to jump way ahead of the story here, but my goodness, what an acquisition that appears to be by GM James Gladstone.
And so are you asking me if I think that it is, or are you asking me to give you an example of one that it would have to beat?
Is it the best one that you can remember in season-wise?
Well, I think you have to go to the end of the season and see where this one goes, because the trade in 2017 for Marcel Darius from the Buffalo Bills was a hugely impactful trade. The Jaguars' defensive front didn't have enough muscle in the middle, and Darius made a big upward push with the defense, and they went all the way to the AFC Championship game that year. I don't know that you have to go to the AFC Championship game to be able to see it, but I think you want to see more than a couple games. I will say this, if it's not one, it's 2. There's not another one that comes to mind, even remotely comes to mind, as being as impactful as what Jacoby Myers has done. The trust factor there. And if you look, the last couple of weeks, we have seen the return of Brenton Strange, one of Trevor's favorite targets, and Parker Washington, and now Jacoby Myers. Well, that reminds me of 2022 when you had Marvin Jones, Zay Jones, and Christian Kirk, who were all dependable. They weren't, alpha one, the type of game-breaking receiver that you always hope to have, and the Jaguars have that kind of a guy in Brian Thomas. But these guys, Brenton Strange, Parker Washington, and Jacoby Myers, they are precise. They are detail-oriented. They are trustworthy. And you can see the quarterback's confidence rise because he knows they're going to be where they are supposed to be. So I think they've had a huge impact on it. I love the Jacoby Myers trade. I think by the end of this year, you'll probably be able to say it's the best trade that they have made in season.
Final moments, Brian Sexton, Jaguars.com and Jaguars Radio. Brian, I want to end looking ahead to Indianapolis on Sunday. Final thought from yesterday, Joshua Hines-Allen, and you can even go back to Arizona and the Charger game as well. The guy looks like a different player in the last month than maybe he did prior to that. Why do you think Hines-Allen is coming on so quickly?
His team needs him. He knows it. And he and I have had this discussion. He signed that big contract before last season, and he, of all people, wanted to live up to it. It's really important to Josh to play at his best. And when his team needs him to deliver, not just in the locker room, he can certainly do that, but to deliver on the field. And we started talking during the bye week. I talked to him in the locker room, just chatting, not an interview kind of thing. And it was clear that he was willing, especially with Trey. Trayvon had been struggling with the wrist, and now he's obviously got the knee, and Eric was down yesterday with the hand. His team needed him. And what was so impressive yesterday was he dominated J.C. Latham. First-round pick, top 10 pick, their best offensive lineman, just dominated him. And there was no Trayvon on the other side or Eric Armstead in the middle to be able to take some of the attention. He did it with everybody looking. Where's 41? Here he comes again. He's played great football. And I get it. The Titans don't have a lot of downfield threats, and Cam Ward's going to hold the ball a little bit longer trying to make a play. But when you go back and watch, and I would encourage anybody to go back and watch the way that Josh Hines-Allen pushed that big kid around. Latham's a young guy. He's huge. And Josh just made him look like a rag doll. Very impressive. But I think I think the two highest paid players on the team are Trevor Lawrence and Josh Hines-Allen. And I think if you want to know anything about why they are where they are right now, is because the two highest paid players who had not played their best football up until the bye week, they played good enough. They've both lifted the level of their game. And I think going forward, if you get 16 and 41 playing good football, I mean meaningful, impactful, lift my team football, and that's what the quarterback did yesterday also, I think you're going to see something fun. I don't know. I don't make predictions. There's so many things can go in a different direction based on injury, weather conditions, playing in Denver the week before Christmas. But I think the Jaguars are in a real good spot to take this division title. And a month ago, after the loss in Houston, I didn't think that was even possible.
Brian, as we begin to wrap up, it's a big one on Sunday at Everbank Stadium. I think regular season-wise, maybe go back to the AFC South title game at the end of 2022 to find a more important game at home than this one coming up between the 8-4 Colts and the 8-4 Jaguars. What are your thoughts?
No, that's it. I mean, that's absolutely the most important part of the game. And, the Jaguars had the advantage in that game. They were playing at home. They just needed to win, and they were in. They knew it, and yet Mike Vrabel, if you recall, had Joshua Dobbs, who had pulled off the Lions practice squad, and had him, starting that game. And the Titans just delivered punch after punch. But when the game was on the line, Rayshon Jenkins made that pass rush sack and forced the fumble, and Josh Hines-Allen picked it up and raced into the end zone with a touchdown. That was as much fun a moment as I had in that stadium since they beat the Miami Dolphins 62-7 in the divisional game back in January of 2000. There haven't been enough of these kinds of games. And yet you get the sense that with Liam Cohen and James Gladstone and Tony Baselli running the show, this will be the first of many. I'm really excited for this game. The Colts come in limping a bit. Daniel Jones is injured. DeForest Buckner's on injured reserve. Sauce Gardner's probably not going to play. Good. Good. Go punch him in the mouth. Go and beat them by playing the physical, tough style that they have talked about all season long. Forget about your own injuries. Go exploit theirs and play tough football. The tougher team will win this game, and I think the tougher team is the Jaguars, and I think they win.
First place on the line Sunday, 1 o'clock, Jaguars and the Colts. It's going to be a very busy week. Brian, what do you have coming out on Jaguars.com as we head up to game time on Sunday?
I always need to look at the release list and see what's coming out. Lots of Hunt extras, lots of behind-the-scenes stuff. Here's the beautiful part, is that this coaching staff, Liam Cohen in particular, is so transparent. Here's it. Jags Wired comes out on Wednesday night, and there is so much good stuff from the sidelines yesterday and from the meeting rooms last week that will air in this week's Jags Wired. Highly encourage people to watch it. If you want to feel like you're a part of what Liam is doing, if you just want to see it from the inside out so that on Sunday you understand why some things are happening, Jags Wired is a great way to experience it, because Cohen really, there's only a few places he hasn't let our cameras.
I say it every week. Liam Cohen, James Gladstone, Tony Baselli, and everybody at Jaguars.com. The coverage that has been provided to the fan base this year with the Hunt and the Jags Wired is absolutely incredible. Even going inside the locker room after losses. You don't see that, and the access being provided is absolutely incredible. Kudos to everybody over there. Brian, I know you're busy. Thank you for the time. I'll see you down there in the locker room on Wednesday.
Looking forward to it, Ryan. Have a great night.
Prosser here for Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. If you've been wanting to upgrade your outdoor living space and just haven't pulled the trigger, you should call the experts at Lifetime Enclosures right now. From glass lanais to screened-in enclosures, Lifetime Enclosures and Flooring is the best in the business. Spring will be here before we know it. So give them a call today and upgrade that area that needs it the most. Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. Showroom just off Phillips Highway. Tell them Prosser sent you.
Beaver Toyota, Beaver Chevrolet, and Beaver Mitsubishi are on a mission to sell 2,000 vehicles this December. I've instructed my team to take every reasonable offer. We won't lose your business over price. Thousands of cars, trucks, and SUVs priced to move. Get year-end savings, top dollar for your trade, and the easiest car buying experience ever. But hurry, these deals end when we hit 2,000, and we ain't leaving nothing on the table. Make it a December to remember, only at Beaver Toyota, Beaver Chevrolet, and Beaver Mitsubishi.
The holiday season is the season of love. If you're getting engaged now or just looking for that unforgettable gift for the woman you love, Beards Diamonds is here for you. This Christmas, Beards is proud to showcase the world's premier designers in both bridal and fashion. Like Sylvie, personalized, meaningful designs that enhance your unique lifestyle and personality. Celebrate your love, elevate your look, and shine brightly with exquisite jewelry from Sylvie. Celebrating 30 years of design expertise in both bridal and fashion. Beards Diamonds is the town center's local jeweler. So at Beards, you never have to settle for corporate chain store quality. We've put together our best selection ever of exquisite jewelry for the holidays. From the newest designer styles to classic diamond studs and diamond bracelets, with your choice of natural or lab-grown diamonds. Whether your holiday budget is a few hundred or a few $100,000, the experts at Beards will help you find the jewelry that reflects your love. Beards Diamonds at the St. John's Town Center.
Bueller, stay cooler with Bueller.
Hey, Jason, I'm worried.
You? Really? About what?
Well, I like to have a little seasonal potluck. Invite some friends and neighbors and guys from the office. But if the food gets spicy and the party gets rocking and that old toilet in the two-piece can't handle the traffic, well, what if my drain backs up right in the middle of everything?
Dude, imagine you're wearing my sunglasses.
Okay. Shoomp. Whoa.
If you're planning to host a holiday party and a blocked household drain line threatens to ruin the whole thing, call us and tell us. The drain clearing experts at Bueller Air & Plumbing will unclog your drain for free.
You do that for free?
It's Christmas.
Yeah, but for free?
The holidays can get pretty hectic. If a clogged drain line threatens to ruin the whole thing, you could miss it.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
Awaken 180 weight loss. Awaken 180 weight loss. Hacker here for the best weight loss program I've ever been on. Certainly the most successful weight loss program I've ever been on, losing over 100 pounds on Awaken 180. I always get reminded this time of year when holiday photos come out. You see those old photos on Facebook, back what I looked like in 2022 and 2023, and even to an extent last year, and now what I look like now, and it's all thanks to Awaken 180 weight loss. The coaching I've received, I'm in the maintenance program now, being able to keep the weight off. It's absolutely been life-changing. I played a little hide and seek with my son before I came into the show tonight. 18 months ago, I wouldn't want to do that. I just didn't want to get off the couch. I got a new lease on life now, thanks to Awaken 180 weight loss. If it's time for you to lose the weight, like it was for me, go to awaken180weightloss.com or call 844-346-1800 and get involved like I did with Awaken 180 weight loss.
I'm Max Fink, and I'll bring you the Gator Report several times weekly to keep you connected to Gainesville.
The Gator Report, put together by San Jose Collision on the home of the Florida Gators, 1010XL.
Go, Gators! Hey gang, Prosser here. Jacksonville homes are selling, but it can take months, and it takes a price lower than you want. Well, getting top price means aggressive marketing, and Chad and Sandy Newman are the Jacksonville experts who have proven systems to drive the demand to sell your home. And they have this unbelievable promise and guarantee. Chad and Sandy guarantee your home sold at an agreed-upon price and deadline, or they will buy it. No required costly repairs. Pick your move date. If you need to sell now, Chad and Sandy have instant offers. Fast, easy, and stress-free. You want max price? Chad and Sandy are going to aggressively market your home, and they're going to get it. Anthony and Mary in Palm Coast said, we wanted to move back home closer to family. Getting max price was more important than a fast sell, but we had only purchased our home last year, so we didn't have much equity. After just 23 days of aggressive marketing with Chad and Sandy, they sold our house at the price we needed to make the move. Call the Jacksonville experts you can trust, and I recommend. Call Chad and Sandy at 904-414-6200 or chadandsandy.com.
I'm here with Danny Van Sickle, director of the Electrical Training Alliance. Danny, tell me about your program.
Hey, Rick. We're a 4-year electrical apprenticeship. Our students start out making over $40,000 a year and right now make over $90,000 a year, including benefits. There is no tuition or student debt. You just have to apply and get accepted.
Did you say no tuition and no student debt?
You heard that right, Rick. Once you're accepted to the program, your only cost for the books and the course fees. About $800 a year.
That sounds like an amazing opportunity. How can I learn more?
Just go to etajax.org and you can apply there.
Apply by May 14th.
For lost or broken keys or nearly any make and model of vehicle, call 722-1111 for
Instant Keys. Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you.
Need electric vehicle repair? Guardian Collision is expert certified for any electric vehicles. Trust the home team for auto body repair on your EV. Guardian Collision. They guard what moves you at GuardianCollision.com.
When it comes to glass, you don't want average. You want flawless. Duval Glass and Mirror has transformed homes and businesses across Jacksonville for over 35 years. Frameless showers that wow. Mirrors cut exactly to your style. Fogged or broken glass replaced. Decorative tabletops. Windows replaced or repaired to stand up to Florida storms. All backed by a 100% guarantee. Visit DuvalGlass.com for your free quote. There's only one name for glass and mirror around these parts. It's Duval.
Home of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Lauren Brooks here for Terminix. When pests invade your home or business, you don't just need them out. You need them out fast. And you need to keep them out. At Terminix, they'll show up for you and eliminate pests quicker, just like they did at my house, because they care about what matters most to you. When pests show up, so does Terminix. Don't live with a pest problem, Terminix it. Visit Terminix.com today to schedule a free inspection online. That's TERMINIX.com. That's right, Terminix it.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch. Hacker After Dark on 1010XL.
Halftime, Hacker After Dark, 1 hour down, 1 hour to go. We'll take you up till 10 o'clock as we do every night right here on 1010XL and on 92.5 FM. Again, thank you to my buddy Brian Sexton of Jaguars.com. Coming up here in the 9 o'clock hour, we'll get back into the John Sumrall hiring, down in Gainesville with a former Florida Gator All-American tight end Ben Troop will join me coming up here in about 15 minutes or so, as we'll talk about John Sumrall, and we'll talk about the fact that Lane Kiffin is not at the University of Florida. Again, former Gator All-American Ben Troop in 15 minutes. Later on in the 9 o'clock hour, a little Monday night coaching with Campo. My buddy Dave Campo, former head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. He will join us here tonight on Hacker After Dark. Monday Night Football, final game of week number 13. The Giants were getting blown out of the stadium. Patriots were up 17-0. The Giants have just added a touchdown. It is now New England 17, New York 7. About 12 minutes to go in the first half. You know, you look at the AFC standings as we're into the month of December now, and we don't get to do this in Jacksonville very often. More times than not, in fact, a lot more times than not, over the last 15, 20 years, by December 1st, it's all about the draft, man. It's about wanting to lose games for draft positioning. That is certainly not the case right now. New England is playing right now. They are winning right now. We will assume New England does win tonight. They are up 10 in the second quarter. So a New England win tonight would put them as the number 1 seed currently in the AFC. A win tonight would put the Patriots at 11-2. Interesting thing about them is they have not had their bye week yet. They have played 13 consecutive weeks. They will finally have their bye week next week, and then will play their last 4 games. So a New England win tonight puts them as the number 1 seed in the AFC as it stands tonight. Denver survived Washington last night. Denver would currently be the 2 seed with a record of 10-2. And then, based on tiebreakers, there's your Jacksonville Jaguars. 8-4, technically right now in first place in the AFC South. They are the 3 seed. Baltimore is the 4 seed. They lead the AFC North based on tiebreakers. The first wild card would go to the Chargers. They are 8-4, sitting at number 5. There's Indianapolis, 8-4. They are losing the tiebreaker to Jacksonville, so they would be the 6th, the way it stands right now. And Buffalo at 8-4 would be the 7. So if the playoffs started today, the Colts would be at Jacksonville in the 6 versus 3. And, of course, that is also the matchup we will see here on Sunday at Everbank Stadium. Jaguars have very little room for error, though. The Texans right now are on the outside looking in with a record of 7-5. They have an enormous game on Sunday. Houston goes to Arrowhead to take on Kansas City. That's Sunday Night Football. That is an absolute must-win for the Kansas City Chiefs. And if you're a Jaguar fan, the absolute ideal scenario would be for you to beat Indianapolis on Sunday and then for Kansas City to beat Houston on Sunday at Arrowhead. But keep in mind, the Chiefs lost on Thanksgiving. The Ravens lost on Thanksgiving, and Pittsburgh lost yesterday. So the Chiefs, Ravens, and Steelers are all 6-6. You have a tiebreaker over Kansas City because of that head-to-head earlier in the year. So basically, the Jaguars are 3 games up on the Chiefs with 5 to go. Kansas City is more than likely not going to catch you in a wild card scenario. And you're 2 games up on both Baltimore and Pittsburgh. So the only team you really have to worry about right now, unless you have a mega collapse, is Houston at 7-5. That's why Jaguar fans, to me, you need to be big Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, and Kansas City fans Sunday night. And you need to hope the Chiefs, which is a must-win for them at home in Arrowhead, can find a way to beat C.J. Stroud and the Houston Texans. As far as the game on Sunday, the Jaguars have won 4 out of 5, including 3 in a row. The Indianapolis Colts leaking oil a little bit, albeit close losses, but they've lost 2 in a row to Kansas City and to Houston. There will be no DeForest Buckner for the Colts. There will be no Sauce Gardner for the Colts. He got hurt yesterday and is listed as week to week. Jacksonville is banged up as well, but again, a prime opportunity at home for Jacksonville to knock off Indianapolis. The one thing I don't like, and I say this every year, all week the Colts are going to hear about the streak. They have not won a game in Jacksonville, Florida since 2014. One of those games was in London, but every other game in that time frame has been played here, and the Colts have found ways to lose here miraculously. They lost a playoff berth the final week of the year once when the Jaguars, who had nothing to play for, beat them. I'll never forget 2020. The Jaguars won one game all year, and it was opening day here against Indianapolis. The Jaguars would go on to lose 15 in a row after that. For whatever reason, over the last decade plus, the Colts have had a house of horrors at Everbank Stadium. It will come to an end at some point. Logic tells you that. The average of just numbers tells you that. Law of averages. But hopefully it does not come to an end this Sunday. If the Jaguars win, they are in sole possession of first place in the AFC South. More on the Jacksonville Jaguars coming up towards the bottom of the hour when Dave Campo joins us for a little Monday night coaching with Campo. Coming up next, my buddy Ben Troop was an All-American tight end at the University of Florida. Let's talk about the fact that Lane Kiffin said essentially thanks but no thanks. He's off to LSU for $13 million a year. The Gators quickly pivoted and got what I think is as good as they could have done with John Sumrall from Tulane. Gator fans, I know some of you are not happy. Let's talk to a former All-American that played at the University of Florida, his thoughts about the brand new Gator coach, and let's do it next. My buddy Ben Troop joins me here on a Monday night here in the city of Jacksonville. We're glad you're with us till 10 o'clock, Hacker After Dark, 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
When the game leaves you wanting more, we give you a little extra. Hacker Leon and Coach Gerald Ingram bring you the window world of Northeast Florida fifth quarter, nailed down by Apex Roofing and Contracting and Hurricane Grill and Wings.
Attention skilled electricians. Are you undervalued at your current company? Time to step up to the bigger projects and better opportunities. Join the team at Miller Electric Company, a trusted name in the industry for over 96 years. At Miller, we tackle the biggest projects in the city, offering not just the job, but an experienced, top-notch pay, unbeatable benefits, and the best working environments in the business. Please join the team that values your skills and rewards your hard work. Elevate your career to new heights. Apply today at millercareers.com, an equal opportunity employer.
The wait is over. Sunday, December 7th, your Jacksonville Jaguars return to Everbank Stadium for a massive division showdown against the Indianapolis Colts. This is more than just a game. It's a statement. Touchdown, Jacksonville! The Jags are back home and ready to turn up the heat in their iconic Prowler throwbacks. Kickoff is 1 p.m., so pack the bank and make it loud. Secure your seats now at Jaguars.com/tickets or call 904-633-2000. We'll see you at the bank.
Here's a health and wellness tip from orthopedic specialists of Jacksonville.
Here's a simple tip for shoulder health to improve your posture. Slouching can put extra stress on your shoulders, leading to pain and injury. Make sure your head is over your shoulders are relaxed and pulled back, and your spine is properly aligned. Whether you're sitting or standing, if you sit for long periods of time, make sure to get up and take breaks and work on pulling your shoulders back. Get up and get moving, Jacks, and go Jags.
Stay healthy with orthopedic specialists of Jacksonville.
Ah, family's here. Ready for a perfect holiday?
Honey, the toilet's overflowing.
What? Now? With everyone here?
The sink's backed up too. Cool, it's like a water park in here.
Great! Best holiday ever.
Don't panic. Just call Duck Duck Rooter. They'll fix it before we're swimming in mashed potatoes.
Got a holiday plumbing disaster? Call Duck Duck Rooter, your local plumbing pros. DuckDuckRooter.com.
Greenlaw Group is for the insured. If you think you have roof damage, call 904-302-7055 today. and they will schedule you a free roof inspection. Trust their law firm to help you fight your insurance when you need it. These storms can cause damage you may not even see yet. Call Greenlaw Group 302-7055. There's no cost to retain their law firm and no cost to have your roof inspected. They only get paid if you win. Greenlaw Group, for the insured.
Get closer to nature.
Trying to get close to these bucks out here.
Jeff Lageman, Captain Kevin Faber, and Captain Kirk Waltz. The Nimnicht Outdoor Show. Presented by Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic and Air Conditioning. Saturday morning 7 to 10 on 1010XL.
Hey, First Coast, it's your boy Leon Searcy, your lemon pepper guy. Back and better than ever for Wingstop. You know I can't resist those crispy, flavorful wings that make your taste buds dance. Wingstop just opened a hot new spot on Jeremiah Street in Middleborough. There's 17 locations, now serving up the most mouth-watering wings in town. And my all-time favorite, lemon pepper. Try their new quick and easy ordering on the app and swing by today for fresh, hot wings made for you. Only at Wingstop.
Jacksonville Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Westside, your locally owned commercial truck headquarters and proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Hey, it's Rick Ballou. We got a fresh shipment of hard-to-find ProMaster vans, perfect for Section 179. My buddy Tommy and his team are committed to the community and make the process simple. Upfits, delivery, everything handled right. If you need ProMaster vans or commercial trucks for your fleet, you need Jacksonville Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Westside.
Julington Creek Pest Control has been serving our community since 1984. Our turf management program is an all-out blitz, granular fertilization, weed and insect control, keeping your lawn championship green all year. Quarterly pest control stops bugs before they ever cross your goal line. Family owned, locally operated, expert technicians, top quality products, no gimmicks, just winning results. Julington Creek Pest Control, our family serving yours since 1984.
Look around and we know you've got options for gasoline, but those other places, they're not in the business of more. At Shell, that's what you get every day. Members get more rewards, more savings, more special offers. You'll even get 10 cents per gallon off of your first fill when you sign up and save on every fill after that. Choose to get more and more with every drive. Join the Shell Fuel Rewards program today at fuelrewards.com. Offer valid at participating Shell locations. Offer must be redeemed within 60 days of registration. Limit 20 gallons. Restrictions apply. Visit fuelrewards.com for more information.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah. Now, another great guest on the Checkmate Coatings phone line. Hello. Your floor's missing piece.
Back here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM in the city of Jacksonville, we are glad you are with us. John Sumrall, the brand new head coach at the University of Florida. He was introduced earlier today. 2 years at Troy, 2 years at Tulane, and now to the University of Florida. Let's talk about John Sumrall. Let's talk about Florida missing out on Lane Kiffin and where Florida football goes from here with a man that played at the University of Florida. In fact, he was an All-American tight end for the Gators. My buddy Ben Troop, always kind enough to join us here on 1010XL in Jacksonville. Ben, how you doing, man?
Man, I'm doing, I'm doing all right, man. Finally got a coach we can call our home, and let's see what goes on after this.
You and I spoke last week about Lane Kiffin. Ultimately, that did not happen. John Sumrall did happen. Let's start right there. Your immediate reaction to the hiring of John Sumrall from Tulane.
I mean, I had mixed emotion like anybody else, but I had to take a step back. I don't know if I speak for you, Ryan, but I gotta, I might have to stay off social media a little less. I mean, you be reading all the headlines, reading all the comments, and you forget a lot of these people aren't analysts. A lot of these people are not columnists. A lot of these people don't cover your team. They just root for your team, and you don't really want to let, that emotion be the reason why, I do or don't make a decision. I take a step back for two reasons. Number one, it's so easy to talk about what Florida hasn't done. It's so easy to talk about what Florida wants to be. But I looked at two guys. One I got coached under, and the other that came after Ron Zook. Coach Spurrier, as great as he was not the name he was when he got to Florida. Yes, he won the Heisman. Yes, he was the third overall pick. You talk about Urban Meyer and who he became. Nothing against Utah, but he was not the household name he became after Florida, before Florida. I am not saying Coach Sumrall is either Coach Spurrier or Coach Urban Meyer, but a big reason why Coach Sumrall gets the flack he's getting It's because he came from Tulane. It's because he didn't come from a G4 program, and because of what Billy Napier didn't do. Billy Napier ain't got nothing to do with Coach Sumrall. Billy Napier ain't gonna have nothing to do with anything moving forward with Florida. I'm gonna give Coach Sumrall my full support, just like my former teammates Steve Harris and Cedric Faison and a guy Riedel Anthony. Jaquez Green, who's very vocal. I'm gonna give him my full support.
I think you brought up a good point there. Obviously, coming from the state of Louisiana, being a group of 5 coach, people are lumping him in with Billy Napier. There's 2 important things to remember here. Number one, probably the biggest, Sumrall is a defensive guy, whereas Napier was an offensive guy, so their demeanors are different. I mean, I've talked to people that have been around John Sumrall, that have played for John Sumrall. He's more the get-in-your-face, kind of rah-rah, let's go, passionate guy, whereas Billy was more kind of, quite frankly, aloof at times. I just think it's important, Ben, for Gator fans to know that there are clear differences between these 2 guys.
Well, absolutely. And I think another thing about Coach Sumrall, it could have been anybody not named Lane Kiffin and people's going to have a problem with it. It's because people assume, okay, you hear that Lane Kiffin said he grew up wanting to be Steve Spurrier. You hear that he probably wants out of Ole Miss. As people start assuming it's going to be Florida. Well, here's the thing. I respect Coach Lane Kiffin. When Lane Kiffin was the head coach at with the then Oakland Raiders, I was on that team that had, Jamarcus Russell, that had, Darren McFadden and Nnamdi Asomugha, the list goes on. And he didn't win then because he wasn't ready to be a head coach, at least not in the National Football League. Coach Sumrall is a guy that, look, he's going to roll to the beat of his own drum. He understands 2 things. One, whatever I've done before doesn't matter because of where I'm headed. And number 2, I'm not afraid of smoke. You cannot be afraid of smoke if you are coming to Florida. I think he's up for the job. And before he does anything, I'm going to give him a chance. I mean, when people start saying this is the worst hire ever, do you know how many coaches got contract extensions because their names got linked to places like Florida and LSU? There are more guys that got more money because they thought they were going to leave than they were actually going to leave. So if you want to know the power of a University of Florida, just look at how many guys that got Eli Drinkwitz and Clark Lee and all these guys that got contract extensions because they thought that a 352 area code was going to pop up on their cell phone.
Former All-American tight end at the University of Florida, Ben Troop, with us here on 1010XL in Jacksonville. Ben, an interesting dynamic in college football now is the idea of a general manager. And Dave Caldwell, who formerly was here in Jacksonville for many years as the GM of the Jaguars, is reportedly coming in with Sumrall to be the GM at the University of Florida. What did you make of that situation?
Didn't like it. I mean, when I saw it, because the thing about it is, Ryan, I don't know if you have this feeling. These coaches or GMs, they just keep bouncing from one place to the next. It's like musical chairs when it comes to these guys. But I did hear some rumblings that a former Florida Gator, now the general manager, he's best general manager in sports, in my opinion, and Howie Roseman up there with the Eagles, is I heard something that he might be consulting or at least giving advice to Dave Caldwell. Here's my thing. I never, ever like when GMs or coaches go from the pros to college. It is a total different world. Just because you're dealing with contracts, just because you're dealing with NIL, these young men don't respect you the same way they would if you walking up in the front office with Jacksonville. Maybe he's turned over a new leaf. Caldwell did not have the best track record, maybe because of who he was around and the type of things he was doing in Jacksonville. You see what Jacksonville is doing since he has, moved on. I don't want to look too far in his resume to try to blame him too much, but I just think that it's too much level of familiarity when it comes to these hirings. Everybody wants to deal with people they're comfortable with. Okay, I can work with people I'm comfortable with, but are they good at their job first? And then am I comfortable with them second? I think these guys, the merit-based jobs these days, Ryan, maybe you see it different than me, but I don't think guys are getting it based on merit. I think they're getting it based on what they have done, who they know, and how familiar, these decision makers are with these guys.
Yeah, it's just interesting that the NFL model is certainly coming to college with these GMs DMs. And granted, we are here in Jacksonville, and Caldwell did not have a lot of success here. We will see. As you said, Howie Roseman basically gave his endorsement for Caldwell coming to the University of Florida. So we will see how that goes. I think the first thing that, if you're John Sumrall, you got to do, Ben, is you got to call Jaden Ball, right? I mean, Jaden Ball, after that performance on Saturday in the win over Florida State, to me, that's more vital than DJ Lagway. You got to make sure Jaden Ball is a Gator in 2026.
100%. And I know it's going to sound crazy, but if he's not the highest paid Florida Gator in 2026, that's a problem. And I don't care, and I respect DJ Lagway and what he means to Florida, but everybody understands what Jaden Ball means, not just to the University of Florida and his offensive game plan, but what he means to the entire team. I mean, former Gators like Brandon Spikes and different guys saying things like, I appreciate how hard he plays regardless, of the scoreboard, regardless of how the game is looking. Jaden Ball is a Georgia boy like myself, Atlanta. Kid from Atlanta, and I just hope that they make him the number one priority, because Coach Sumrall knows this. I can go out there and get the best defensive coordinator, best offensive coordinator, best supporting staff. If I don't retain Jaden Ball, it doesn't matter, because it shows that I don't prioritize who everybody's coming to see. They're coming to see the guys with the numbers on their chest. That's who they're coming to see. We respect you, Coach Sumrall, because of your position, but if you don't make Ball a priority, people are going to start saying to themselves, hey, man, are you telling me that you got a better running back in the country right now suited for what Florida's trying to do? No, you're a defensive-minded coach, but what do defensive-minded coaches hate? A running game, a running back, a guy that can change the dynamic. But I think Coach Sumrall understands where his bread is buttered on, and he's going to go out there and make sure Jaden Ball knows you are a number one priority, young man. I know it's going to be a lot of people calling your phone that want your services. I think you suited right here for where you've been the last couple of years.
Final moments with former Florida Gator All-American tight end Ben True. Ben, I want to end with a thought on the Jaguars and the Titans. Final thought on Florida. I'm curious, a guy like you, and obviously a voice like yours resonates because of what you accomplished on the field there in Gainesville. Tell Gator fans, your thoughts about not getting Lane Kiffin. Florida fans are angry. They're disappointed. They see the celebration out in Louisiana that LSU did get him. I think Florida was certainly in the mix. But I tell you this, I think once they knew it wasn't going to happen, they pivoted very quickly, because Sumrall was probably going to get the Auburn job, and I do think it was a good job in getting Sumrall out of Auburn's reach when they did, so I commend Florida from that aspect. But what's your message to Gator fans that are frustrated about not getting Lane Kiffin?
The same thing my mom used to tell me when I was young. If something didn't go my way, you'll get over it. You'll get past it. That's the only thing lead to disappointment, Ryan, is expectation. We expected to get Lane Kiffin because of the brand at Florida. But what Billy Napier just proved is how hard it is to win and win consistently at Florida. But if people are still, and I know we got all these former Ole Miss players saying things like, oh man, he might win it all to let us you in his first year. We know who Lane Kiffin is. We know what Lane Kiffin is capable of. Has Lane Kiffin ever been to Atlanta? No. Has Lane Kiffin ever won a national championship? No. Has Lane Kiffin ever been considered the best coach in the SEC? No. Lane Kiffin is an offensive guru that can go out there and score points. The last time Billy Napier went head-to-head in the swamp against Lane Kiffin, he beat him. Now, I get that Lane Kiffin is the hot name, but so was Brian Kelly when he went to LSU. And what happened to him? I am not mad at Lane Kiffin for taking the money and going to LSU. I would just tell Gator fans this. Stop being so easily offended and easily hurt because something didn't go your way. Yes, Florida is in a rebuild. No, we aren't the team we haven't been in the past. Yes, we didn't get the guy that everybody coveted. But I would tell them this. Stop reading the headlines. Stop thinking that Scott Strickland is going to get fired, because he is not, and let's give the new guy. It's like a player getting hurt. I can't worry about the players who aren't here. I got to worry about the coach who is here. We got Coach Sumrall, Lane Kiffin. We're going to have to see him next year. And for Lane Kiffin's money, he better win often, because if not, they can't get out of his contract, and they can't do him the same way they did Brian Kelly. It didn't go our way. We'll get over it. Let's move on to the next.
Ben, you're also a former Tennessee Titan. I got to ask you, the Jaguars and the Titans yesterday, from a Jaguar point of view, a dominating win. From a Tennessee point of view, yikes, man. That was not good. What was your thought on the game?
I think the game got summed up to what happened, with the situation with the kicker or the punter or whoever it was. You really letting words get to you? You know you are down bad. When what the kicker or the punt, nothing against kickers and punters because they are people too and they are very important. But when that's the narrative coming out of the game, that's how bad the state of affairs have become with the Titans. I do not think the Titans are the worst team in the league. I don't think they're the worst team in the league by far. I think there are other teams that have worse situations. But when you talk about the worst situation known to man when it comes to culture, the worst culture to me in football right now is the Titans. From the players to the coaches, whether it's Coach McCoy and the interim, to all the blame that goes to Cam Ward. You don't have a head coach. You don't know who's going to be your head coach. You don't have a culture. You don't have an identity. You don't have a team. So shout out to the Jags. I went on the Jags podcast. Shout out to my homie Trav. I was doing my best trying to talk about the Titans in an uplifting way when I knew this was going to get ugly and it was going to get ugly fast. And that's what happened. The Jags are moving in the right direction. The Houston Texans just beat the Indianapolis Colts. The AFC South is up for grabs, and the team that is a bottom feeder, not just in the AFC South, but a bottom feeder, probably going to be the number 1 overall pick, is the Tennessee Titans. Nothing screams we haven't moved an inch than getting the number 1 overall pick 2 years in a row, and I think that's going to be the destination for them two-tone blue bloods from Nashville.
Hey, Ben, final question. We got 60 seconds. I'm curious. Liam Cohen arrived in Jacksonville. The Jaguars had lost 18 of their previous 23 games before he got here. He's got them 8-4 in year one and currently in first place in the AFC South. Just speak to the job that Liam Cohen has done here in his first year.
Liam Cohen said it best. I can't remember what game they won, Ryan. He said, we will not make excuses for winning games around here. You're doing it without Travis Hunter. Sometimes Trevor Lawrence, you win because of him. Sometimes you win in spite of him. Regardless of everything that didn't go well in them 4 losses, you've gotten it right. 8 out of 12 times sitting. And right now, people ain't saying the same thing about Daniel Jones, huh? C.J. Stroud just got back. Liam Cohen understands this. Before I can win games, we got to have a mentality. And Jacksonville's mentality is we going to be hard to beat. Not saying we going to win, but y'all going to be 8-4 after 12 games, man. Most teams will take that. Liam Cohen is doing an incredible job. He looked around and said, I think the team I want to coach and the quarterback I want to hatch my cart to is Trevor Lawrence, and so far so good.
The man was an All-American tight end at the University of Florida. He also spent many years in the National Football League. My buddy Ben Troop. Ben, I know you're busy. Thank you for the time, and we'll talk soon, pal.
Ryan, anytime you need me, I'm there, man. Keep doing what you're doing, and always a pleasure coming on with you.
We love winning, and 1010XL wants you to win our contests. We also like to share the winning. That's why we ask you to wait 30 days to win again so others get a chance to have the winning feeling. Find complete contest details at 1010XL.com.
I'm here with Danny Van Sickle, Director of the Electrical Training Alliance. Danny, tell me about your program.
Hey, Rick. We're a 4-year electrical apprenticeship. Our students start out making over $40,000 a year and right now make over $90,000 a year, including benefits. There is no tuition or student debt. You just have to apply and get accepted.
Did you say no tuition and no student debt?
You heard that right, Rick. Once you're accepted to the program, your only cost for the books and the course fees. About $800 a year.
That sounds like an amazing opportunity. How can I learn more?
Just go to etajax.org and you can apply there.
Apply by May 14th.
What if you could pull up to $500,000 in cash out of your home and drop your mortgage rate to 4.99% APR? Hey, Prosser here, and right now at Loan Pronto, they've got the lowest rates in 3 years. With Loan Pronto's rapid equity loan, you can get your cash in as little as 3 days, pay off all those high-interest credit cards, and even skip your next 2 house payments. One client just got $300,000 approved in under 24 hours. Paid off their debt, paid off 2 car loans, saved $2,100 a month. One call, life change. There's no wait, no hard credit pull. You probably won't need an appraisal. Just fast, easy cash from your home's equity. Rates at a 3-year low. Act now. Call 914-999-1508 or visit loanpronto.com for your free instant home appraisal. See how much cash you can get today. Call 914-999-1508. See how much cash you can get today. You can also visit loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781. On approved credit, visit NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Post-game Monday on 1010XL is served by Tandy Foods, making quality fresh sandwiches since 1956.
Hello, First Coast. I'm sure by now you have seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We're an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We're committed to customer service, reliability, and have an unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today from GFL, Green for Life.
This is the home of the Florida Gators. Get your Gators hoops on 1010XL. Brought to you by the personal injury attorneys of Farah and Farah, Randy Marion Cadillac of Jacksonville, and Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors.
This is Garrett Scantlin, and I highly recommend Southeast Orthopedic Specialists for any orthopedic issue you have. I'm back to my Olympic training, and I feel great.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
My son had a meniscus surgery a couple of years ago. Went smooth as silk, was playing tennis in 2 weeks. This is Patrick Malarkey, and I highly recommend Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Hey folks, Hickett here, and you know by now my go-to for spotless carpets, grout, hard surfaces, upholstery, and duct cleaning is Zero Res. Don't miss. Book Cyber Monday only for 20% off all cleaning services from Zero Res. You spell it forwards or backwards. Zero Res. It's the right way to clean.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch. Now, the cool down from the cool guys at Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing. Fast, reliable, and honest service since '87.
Back here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM in the city of Jacksonville. We are glad you are with us. The Jaguars now 8-4 and in first place in the AFC South after the win in Tennessee over the Titans. The Jaguars have a big one coming up on Sunday as they welcome in the 8-4 Indianapolis Colts. The winner of that game will have first place outright in the AFC South. Let's review Tennessee. Let's preview Indianapolis with the head coach, Dave Campo. It's always Monday night coaching with Campo here on Hacker After Dark, and the former head coach of the Dallas Cowboys is always kind enough to join us. Coach, how we doing, pal?
Doing good, doing good. You know I'm always upbeat when the Jags win, and then, of course, you add to that the Cowboys on Thanksgiving Day. I'm feeling pretty good this week.
Yeah, I imagine. Dallas is coming on red hot as well. Jacksonville has won 4 out of 5, including 3 in a row. And, Coach, let's start right there. After the collapse against Houston, this season to me could have gone one of 2 ways. That could have lingered and basically ended the season, kind of like the Hail Mary did for Chicago last year. I don't think they ever recovered from that. And Jacksonville could have had a similar fate. But to Liam Cohen's credit, man, after that collapse, you go out, you destroy the Chargers, you win a hard-fought game in Arizona. Yesterday, you go take care of business against Tennessee. They've now won 3 in a row since. Speak to the job the staff did in keeping this team together.
Well, you hit it right on the head. This team is different. And I think a lot of that has to be you have to give the credit, some of it to the coaching staff, to the administration, as far as how they went about putting the roster together. Back when they lost that one to Houston, you're absolutely right. That was kind of a turn-on game, off or on. And the thing that you asked me this after that game, how did they rebound? And the way they rebound is to put that out of their mind, get to the next one, and don't worry about the one after that. But what they've done is, they came out the next week and blasted the Chargers. Then they have a really tough one in Arizona. And I think the fans out there have to understand that every game is tough. You just don't go into a game thinking that you're going to just blow a team out. But then they go to the Titans, and the Titans on the road have been very tough for this team over the years. And now they look at it and they say, hey, this is a game that we should win. And there aren't very many of those. And all they did was just play steady football, basically on both sides of the ball, and finished it. So you have to look at this and say, hey, they do a great job of putting game plans together. I think that the offensive ball club, a little inconsistent, but they still have some steady drives, and they're finishing drives with touchdowns, and that's the key to the whole thing.
The head coach, Dave Campo, with us here on Hacker After Dark. Coach, your assessment of the performance of Trevor Lawrence yesterday.
Well, I think Trevor is just improves. Again, I think we look at him as being not a talent that's what do they call it? One of the all-time greats, but he has a tendency to make some plays when they count, and I think that's who he is. And I think that when you sit there and you look at his completion percentage is around 60%. It's not the norm of the really good ones at 67 or 68, but he can make critical throws. He makes a few mistakes here and there, but basically he did a good job yesterday moving the ball when he had to and finishing.
You really see the rapport, too, Coach, that he's building with Jacoby Myers. Jacoby Myers, 6 catches, 90 yards, and a touchdown. Brian Thomas Jr. was obviously back in the fold. Britton Strange found the end zone. Parker Washington did leave the game with an injury, was questionable to return, ultimately did not. We'll have to see how that plays out. But clearly the Jaguars getting a little bit healthy at the skill positions now, and that will bode very well for them, you would think, coming down the stretch.
Yeah, no question about it. And really, to be honest with you, the addition of Strange is big in my opinion, although he didn't do a heck of a lot yesterday. But, he's a quality tight end. You add to that the fact that Myers, to me, is an ultimate professional receiver. If they don't continue keeping him with that team, he's a guy that's going to make, I hate to say every play, but it's pretty close. When he has an opportunity to catch the football, he's going to catch it. And that's great. And I think it's going to take a little bit of a while for Thomas to get back going, because obviously when you come off an injury, it's difficult. And so to me, they have some firepower over there on receiver. And I'm just hopeful that Parker Washington, who has become a lot like Jacoby Myers, is available. And really, that's going to be one of the keys going down the stretch here. We've got to stay away from major injuries.
Coach, what does it say, like a guy like Cole Van Lanen, who 3 weeks ago, or actually 2 weeks ago for that matter, was your starting guard for Ezra Cleveland, played left guard. Last week was your starting right tackle in for Anton Harrison. And yesterday was your starting right guard for Patrick McCarry's injury, and then moved out to left tackle in the middle of the game because Walker Little left with a concussion. The guy has played 4 offensive line positions, starting offensive line positions, in the last 3 weeks. What a job from Cole Van Lanen.
Yeah, no question. And really it speaks to a few things. It speaks to, number one, the philosophy of this coaching staff, because they've said it from day one that what they wanted was versatility in the offensive line. And they've got that. You even look at Edoga, who's hurt. When he's healthy, he can play 2 or 3 positions. And now you add Van Lanen. Van Lanen has done an outstanding job. I actually think he's a better tackle than he is a guard. But at the same time, to be able to do what he's done, that's a plus for the coaching staff. Number 2, it's a plus for him. His ability mentally to be able to handle that situation. And he's not perfect, believe me. But at the same time, there's a reason he made that ball club. That speaks to his ability. But then it also speaks to the ability of the what they've done overall with this football team, with the depth on this football team. What they've done, what Gladstone has done, and Baselli and Cohen is this. They said it from day one, Hack. They wanted to up the floor of the team, and they've done that. Their backup players, Johnson, the safeties, who has had to play because Murray's out. They didn't do that, but he's improving. But then you look at Braswell, and you look at some of these guys that are playing now. There's no question that this team is a better team, and that's one of the reasons they're sitting at 8-4 right now.
Couple of more for the head coach, Dave Campo. Devon Hamilton yesterday as well, Coach. Your starting defensive tackle, has to go in at long snapper after Ross Madison's injury. Again, speak to a guy like Hamilton going in there and doing that job as the long snapper. Again, really impressive.
Yeah, and I saw somewhere where he said it was a dream come true. Those guys like to do, those big guys like to do different things. Like they like to go into the backfield every once in a while and lead a running play or something like that. And again, that speaks to them being prepared. They have a guy that, obviously when a guy gets hurt, you got to have a guy to back him up. Now, on the flip side of that, I was scared the whole ball game. The offense kind of went in a little lull there in the second quarter. And when he had to start snapping, I was a little concerned about it. A couple high snaps, a low snap. We just got a couple of punts off. I actually, in my mind, thought our offense better get going because it's just a matter of time before they block a punt. But you have to give him credit because he did come in and he did get the ball back to the punter. That's a plus.
Coach, I want to end with a thought on Indianapolis coming in here on Sunday, but quickly to the defense, your bread and butter. Tennessee drives down, gets a field goal, I think gains 70 yards of offense on their opening drive. I think they finished with like 188 yards for the game. Obviously, the adjustments that Anthony Campanile and that defensive staff made were unbelievable because after that opening drive, Tennessee's offense basically did nothing the remainder of the game.
Well, absolutely, and they figured it out. I mean, this quarterback couldn't handle the pressure, and so they ramped it up. And I think we're rushing the passer a little bit better. I think we played without two of our better players. So again, that speaks to what they put together for the staff. And the one thing I like about the staff, including Campanile, they can make adjustments, and they do during the ball game. There are stretches where, they may be getting a few runs going, and they figure out a way to get that stopped without giving up something big or whatever. I think that's a credit to the coaching staff. I also think that, when you get a situation like when you've got different players in there, that changes your mentality a little bit. So, I've been impressed with Campanile, the way he goes about his business. He's very calm on the sidelines, just goes about working calling the defenses. That's all been pluses. So, to me, there's no question that they've improved on that side of the ball. They need to get Armstead back. I think Armstead, hey, listen, Gardock is another example. I thought he was one of the better pass rushers going back to training camp. So they need Armstead back, though, as far as the inside push. And the team they're playing, they're going to have to get some pressure on Mac Jones because Jones, because he's executing pretty darn well.
And, Coach, let's end with that. Final moments with Dave Campo. It's a big one on Sunday. The 8-4 Colts, the 8-4 Jaguars. The winner will have first place outright in the AFC South. The Colts appear to be leaking a little bit of oil, Coach. I mean, look, I think the narrative on them was good team, but maybe beating up on a little bit of a softer schedule. We've seen them lose to Kansas City and Houston in back-to-back weeks. Now, they've been in both games, but they've lost both games. And clearly Daniel Jones is probably not what he was a month ago. The last two teams that have beat them, it's been simple. You load the box to stop Jonathan Taylor. You make Daniel Jones beat you, and he's not been able to do that in the last two ball games.
Yeah, and I think that's what you're going to see this week. I mean, the guy Taylor is a beast. You can't let him get going. You can't let him hit the big play, which he's capable of doing. He can take it to about 50 yards on you at a drop of a hat. So, they're going to have to go into this football game. I think that this is a huge ball game. Everybody's been looking at Jones coming back to earth, and I think that's what's going to happen. But they've got quality players. I don't think their offensive line is great. I think we're going to have to really pressure the quarterback to, and the way you do that is to stop Taylor. So, going in, this is going to be a heck of a football game. I look at them like, statistically, they're pretty darn good all the way around. One of the things that they've done a great job with on the other side of the equation is I think they're averaging a little more than 3 sacks a game. And that means that they can rush the passer. So, we've got to run the football. It took us a little while to get going in this last one. We've got to be able to run the football and then, make some big plays off of that. But this is going to be a great football game, in my opinion. And we've had a pretty good record against the Colts at home.
Coach, final question. We got 60 seconds. Playing meaningful football in the month of December, being at home in a game like this, what an atmosphere that should be on Sunday down at Everbank Stadium.
Yeah, I'm only disappointed about one thing about this Jaguar football situation is that I'm not down there. I'd like to be in the city right now. I think that it's going to be an exciting ball game, especially against a rival in the division. And listen, this game's not going to make the total difference, but it's a big football game, and that's what you want to be doing at this time of the year. Again, I'm going to go back and say I put this football team at 8 or 9 wins. I'm counting on them to beat my prediction because they are a good football team. Just a little bit more consistency from the offense and the defense, and I think this team has a chance.
Jaguars Colts Sunday 1 o'clock, first place in the AFC South on the line, and of course you'll hear it right here on 1010XL. The head coach Dave Campo, a little Monday night coaching with Campo here on Hacker After Dark. Coach, thank you as always, pal. We'll talk soon.
Yes, sir. I love you, Hack. You know that. Love being on, and go Jaguars.
And thank you to the head coach, Dave Campo, for joining us tonight here on Hacker After Dark. Always a little Monday night coaching with Campo. Enjoy talking Jaguar football with him as the Jaguars get a big win in Nashville yesterday over the Tennessee Titans. Jacksonville now 8-4 on the year and technically in first place based on tiebreakers in the AFC South. Of course, they have a gigantic one on Sunday at Everbank Stadium. The 8-4 Colts, the 8-4 Jaguars. The winner will be first place by themselves in the AFC South. Of course, you'll hear it right here on 1010XL Sunday at 1 o'clock. We'll be talking about it all week. Probably the biggest regular season home game here in Jacksonville, dating back to the AFC South Championship game at the end of the 2022 season. That is how important this Sunday is between Indianapolis and Jacksonville. So we certainly spent a ton of time on that. Also spent a ton of time on the brand new Florida Gator head football coach John Sumrall. He was introduced earlier today down in Gainesville. 2 years at Troy, 2 years at Tulane, and now John Sumrall takes over the University of Florida. He will still coach Tulane on Friday night in the American Conference Championship game, and potentially, I suppose, if Tulane were to get into the college football playoff. But John Sumrall will be leading the Florida Gators beginning in 2026. Well, that will just about do it, man. It has been a very, very busy Monday night edition of Hacker After Dark. We certainly appreciate you guys hanging out with us here on 1010XL and on 92.5 FM. And we have a ton of people to thank. Again, a little Monday night coaching with Campo. My buddy Dave Campo, former head coach of the Dallas Cowboys, stopped by. Thank you to Ben Troop, former All-American tight end at the University of Florida, as he reacted to the hiring of John Sumrall by his alma mater. We also talked a little bit about the Lane Kiffin fallout as well. And back in hour number 1, my buddy Brian Sexton, Jaguars.com and Jaguars Radio, as we recap the win over Tennessee and looked ahead to the big one this Sunday against Indianapolis. Now, we will be back tomorrow night on a Tuesday, and we will do it all over again beginning at 8 o'clock. Dylan Denmark was your producer.